I kind of get in the zone and just play for 2 hours. And sometimes like I'll turn around with like 15 minutes left and there's like 2 blacked out people left. Just like, just like laying on the couch. And I'm like, what happened? Like, where did everyone go?
What's going on, everybody? My name is Danny Ferrari.
My name is Parker.
And we are Excellent Sound, and we are here with another awesome, excellent show episode with a very, very special guest. Remixes for Skrillex, Tiesto.
Uh-huh.
Some of the most legendary EDM hits. Also, huge history in Excellence lore. Definitely one of the first people we started remaking.
Yeah.
When we first started.
Love it.
Tyler, Nightmare is here.
Hell yeah.
Thank you so
Let's
much
go,
for coming.
dude.
Yay.
Thank you for having
Tyler
me.
here.
Very happy to be here.
Just quiet claps for Sugar.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Quiet class for Shugs.
Sugar,
We
yeah.
got Sugar here, the real star. Dude, thank you so much for coming. We definitely got a lot to talk about. Like I was saying, is like in our early days, like the only way we could get views on videos is if we did like a Nightmare, like or something, or
So
just
true.
failed miserably at like a Nightmare or like a Boombox remake. That's
yeah.
kind of like how we started. Obviously, dude, like you've had an amazing career and continuing to have an amazing career.
Thanks.
You've definitely, I think, made your own space in the lane of EDM as far as like creativity-wise, sound design, also just like your ability to do different types of genres and your melodic ability, which I think is really cool. That makes you stand out. So we're really excited. We've always been big fans, and to have you here. So thanks for coming. One of the first things I wanted to talk about is just kind of like the early days. I know you had the NGHTMRE project. Was that just like straight big room, or like back because you were the Icon days? Like,
yeah, that was. I mean, I grew up like playing piano and drums and all this stuff, and played a bunch of sports, middle school, high school, and I think I was on a team, and there was like 3 Tylers, and so they were like, "All right, you're Ty, you're Tyler, and you're NGHTMRE," because it was like T and then
your last name?
last 4 letters of my last name, and so I just kind of like everyone called me NGHTMRE in middle school or whatever. And then once I started like kind of making beats, I was like, all right, I need to make a SoundCloud like NGHTMRE, and then it just sort of became essentially what the name was. But I think I just really got into things during that electro house like era and like big room kind of vibe. I was like super into like early Porter Robinson and Lazy Rich and like those kind of guys back in the day, and Mord Fustang. I don't know if you remember
dude,
the Mord.
Mord Fustang was sick.
Like that stuff, I was just so into it. I loved melodic stuff, and it was kind of just, I don't know, just became the SoundCloud. I was just gravitated towards all different kinds of stuff. I feel like a little bit always, but yeah, for sure, I feel like Big Room was just crushing so hard at the time.
Dude, Big Room days.
I was like,
So wait, when you were at Icon, like, were you being influenced by everybody around you?
How
like,
did the trap stuff sort of happen?
Yeah.
I think even before I started Nightmare stuff, kind of like right as I was moving out to LA and graduating college, I don't know. I started to hear, I mean, I grew up listening to hip hop and, that kind of like dirty South rap. That was like a lot of the first beats I was making would just like go find a Lil Wayne song and like just remake the beat until I felt like I nailed it. And so, I think, I don't know, there was just a bunch of remixes and things like that starting to come out. Right when I moved to Icon, I met Derek from Slander. We were in the same class first day. And, there was probably 20 kids in the class or 15 kids or something like that. And we just both immediately had the same kind of taste. Like we would play music we liked or whatever. And
nice.
Really similar. So we just hit it off right away. And Slander had a pretty decent following as just DJs, in Southern California where they went to school and stuff. So, me and Derek sort of just built this relationship of like, I had already been producing for 5 or 6 years, so I was kind of ahead of a lot of the people in Icon who were kind of just starting, and he already knew how to DJ, and so he helped me learn how to use CDJs, how to make a set, how to organize all my stuff, and then I would kind of, maybe let's work on, I would just help them kind of with, anything outside of Icon that we wanted to work on production-wise, just to help learn and teach each other. And so, I think, I don't know, it's just that time, I feel like Flosstradamus stuff was like just starting to make waves, and just that next level 808 rumble, like hearing it like in a live setting for the first time, I was just like, this is insane. I have to start working on some music like this. And I think the timing was right, where we just started working on fun bootlegs and remixes and stuff, and it just went crazy. Like one of the first remixes we did was that Showtech We Like to Party remix.
Yeah.
And like it was literally like it came out, bought it on a wave on Beatport, put a kickstart in there so it was side chaining to take out the 4 on the floor kick, and like EQ'd out the sub and just put some crazy trap drums on it. And you know, it wasn't much more complicated than that. And
what a time, dude.
Dude,
just
the
worked.
festival
What
trap.
a time.
And yeah,
I know, right?
And you could just upload it to SoundCloud and it was fine.
Nobody
It was
cared,
like
yeah.
nobody was like keeping track of anything. So it was definitely quite a different time. And you know, Arl Grime at the time, he had like the Clockwork Project.
Yeah.
Yeah, I forgot about that.
And Arl Grime, and I just remember, some of those first remixes, I was like, this is crazy. This is like what I wanted from the hip hop and like the Skrillex kind of like heavy EDM rock influence combined into one. And so, just kind of fell in love with it at the time and started doing that, I guess.
Nice.
That's so awesome. How did it feel when Sonny just dropped Street at Ultra, dude?
Yeah.
How did you find out? Like, were you there, or were you just seeing posts?
Yeah, I was actually in Miami, and I was there. I wasn't playing Ultra, but it was my first time that I had started Nightmare, and I kind of did a few little shows and stuff.
Yeah.
And I was, every week just sending out songs to artists and all these people. And I remember Snails was doing his first Snailed It mix.
Yeah.
And it was like, he had the Snailed It mixes. And so I sent him the song, he put it in the mix. And I was at Ultra and I saw him. And he was like, yo, like, by the way, like, Sonny asked for every single song from that mix. So I sent him every single song, and yours was one of them, too. And I was like, oh, my God, really? Like, did he say he was going to play it or anything? He was like, I don't really know, but he asked for the song. And so this sounds amazing. He's about to go play on main stage in, like, 30 minutes. So I ran over there with my manager, and we got into the spot, like, this kind of nice viewing area right in the front. And sure enough, like 2 songs later, I'm like taking a video and it just dropped. Some edit he made just dropped straight into it. And I like dropped my phone. And I was like, oh my gosh, like, freaked out. My manager gave me a high five so hard that I like broke my pinky.
Wow.
And like, we were just like, it was such a good, I was so hyped.
Dude.
And within 30 minutes, like Alice the team and like Mad Decent team both were like, yo, like, can we sign this song? And it was crazy. It was like already 10 p.m. at night, I think, when he was playing it. But the thing that really helped was he was on main stage, super anticipated set because, just that time, I feel like it was just huge. And it so happened, he probably played it 8 minutes into the set, but it so happened to be the first song on the stream. So they literally went, if you were watching the stream, it's like, dude, Ultra main stage, like Skrillex, and then it just goes, boom, back with the host, and it goes straight into it. And so the clip was so good. And then when you went to 1001 track list after the set, it was the only song that was like ID, and everything else was like Skrillex or somebody knew what it was. So it just created this like Reddit buzz and people being like, what song is this? And then, I got to be like, that's my song.
That would be me.
That one's mine. But yeah, it was perfect example of like, I've sat in my room with KRK5s and like made that beat and made another remix in the same day. And I was like, this is just so random. I can't imagine that anyone's gonna like listen to this song.
So you didn't think it was like special or anything?
I
You
thought
were
it
just
was
like,
cool.
This is weird.
Yeah, I was like, it's cool, but it wasn't like I definitely didn't imagine it to be like that.
Mm-hmm.
And yeah, just like it went crazy. And I don't know, I think he's just such a tastemaker that everybody's always paying attention to what he's doing. And so I think without that, it surely would not have been the same. But there's even more lore and backstory to that song and everything and how it finally came out. But I was really, really, really happy with how it worked out, and then ended up putting it out with Mad Decent and Diplo's label and got in touch with him.
Dude, that just to think like, cause like, it's interesting because you said that Skrillex asked Snails for all of those songs.
Yeah.
But he obviously didn't play every single one of those songs.
Yeah.
So something about that song stuck out to him.
I mean, yeah, you know, even listening to it now, I started bringing it back into my sets because a lot of people who are still coming to my shows, and I don't know, they just know that song.
Yeah.
And it still kind of smacks. Like,
Fuck yeah, it does,
Dude,
bro.
it
Bro,
slaps.
it's a
When I
legendary
replay.
song. It's a legendary
like-
song in a moment,
yeah,
for sure.
it's a weird like rhythm kind of, you know, it's not the easiest thing to dance to and stuff, but whenever I play it, it's always really fun to play out. And yeah.
I think it was the sound.
Yeah.
Yeah, it just
No
was
one had
a,
ever heard that before. Everyone's like, what the fuck is that?
yeah, and that was just like I mean, I think at one point a video talking about it and everything, but you know, it was from freesound.org, and I just went in like pan sample, and you know, there was a 20-second thing. It's like, I recorded my kid banging on these pans with a spoon, and it's like bing, bang, bing, ding, ding, you know, and then I just took one and put it in a sampler or simpler or whatever, and just drew the notes going up and down. And
It's so
That's
funny.
so
I
sick.
remember thinking like I was trying to get the sub to sound right, and I just couldn't get it to sound right. And so I just ended up pitch automating it to just go boo, and it just is rising through like the whole drop, which was, I don't know, it just ended up, yeah, again, something super random. I was like, I don't think it's going to work, but then it sounds really good in a live setting.
I think that a lot of people have to pay attention to what you just said, because
Yes.
like when you're producing and there's one thing about your song that's messing with you that you
Yeah.
don't know, and you have to do something creative to fix it like that, and then it's done.
Yeah.
Like, I don't think enough producers do that.
Yeah.
You know, they just quit the song,
Yeah.
or they
Yeah.
just replace the 808 with
Or
like
they're
a
never
normal.
quite happy with it.
Yeah. So I think that that's super important, and
Yeah,
that's so cool.
I feel like I was trying to play a C as the song's an F or whatever. I
Yeah.
was doing like the fifth, and you know how C is just like the low C is like
Yeah.
just low enough to where you don't like feel it really, kind
Yeah.
of. And so yeah, I was just like, and there was also at the time the what's it called, the Touched What's So Not song.
Yeah.
And I had the same thing where if you listen to it, it's going, just the subs going boo, and it's just rising through the whole drop. I was like, maybe I'll try something like that, and it just worked
And it
out.
just worked out.
Yeah.
How did the grain delay idea? Because I had never seen anybody use grain
the
delay,
grain
and I
delay.
still have not seen anybody use it.
Yeah.
Because the way you used it was, for those who don't know, who haven't seen, we've all. I mean, I know a lot of producers. We've all seen that video of you talking about. You know how, and if you haven't, go check it out because it's awesome. I think you did it like San Diego or something, and you're talking about how you made the street. And for me, when I was watching it, it was like, oh wow, like this what is this sound? And to find out it was just like a pot or a pan or whatever. But then you put grain delay on it.
Yeah.
And the grain delay, the way you did it is, I know a lot because I've watched it a million times.
Yeah.
But you added like like an octave pitch to it, and it created these little sparkles behind the pan that
Yeah.
gave it this little extra texture that made it so much cooler. How did you like what made you go, you know what, I'm going to throw this grain delay? Was it just like a random happenstance of like, let me see what this does? And it just kind of, you created something cool with it, or?
I think it kind of was. I know my first ever opportunity to do a remix was it was a Skrillex Elephant song called Only Getting Younger, and I think it was a sample that I found that kind of sounded like that, and I was just trying to remake similar type of delay. Like it sort of had this main plucky percussion-y sound, and then it just had a couple little really short, like 50, 60 millisecond of the same note, but just crunched up and kind of all that kind of stuff. And I honestly, at the time, I think I was still at Icon, and I, probably was sitting in my mentor session going, how do we remake this? And I still don't use grain delay too much to this day, unless it's a specific instance like that. But yeah, I think honestly, pretty much everything cool that I've ever made was an accident. You know what I mean?
cool.
I think like
That's so
not
dope.
everything, but it's know how it is. It's like I could spend an hour trying to make a bass, and I get to the end, and I'm like, this sounds terrible. And sometimes I spend 5 minutes, and it sounds really cool, and I don't know, all of a sudden
It just works.
Yeah, or I flatten it out, and I try to go up an octave, and I accidentally do down an octave. I'm like, oh, actually down an octave is pretty cool. You know, it's always kind of those happy accidents that things come together. And
yeah, I remember, you know, back in the early days, I had done Icon in 2014, and this is before Street. But your name was around the school. They're like, oh yeah, this kid Tyler, you know, he's Nightmare, and he's gonna, you know, there was kids in my class that are like, yeah, I know Tyler. Like, I go to his house, we smoke out. Like, he's cool, and like, it's like they would show me shit that you were doing.
That's so funny.
And Warning had come out in Good Vibrations, and you had a lot of like the remixes out. So there was a lot of talk about you, but this is before Street, and it was all about like your sound design. And then I had met your manager Steven at the time through Guitar Center. And I forgot how I got your number. I don't know if Steven gave it to me, but I remember that because I don't think I had met you personally, but I remember that you were always super nice because when I was trying to figure out sound design stuff, and maybe you don't remember this, but I would always just like randomly like text you, and I'd be like, hey dude, how did you make this sound? And you'd be like, oh, I think it was Spire or something. And you would always like for the most part, like you would always like text back.
I didn't know that. That's awesome.
Yeah, I have old texts like where you would just
kind of remember that, but I feel like I definitely did do that a lot.
You were so nice, bro. So
that's great.
Yeah, it was
I
so
appreciate
cool.
that.
Yeah, and also too, like you were already like doing like, you know, you were on your way to doing big things. But I know just like for the kids at Icon and stuff was to look at you, and also at Slander too, that you guys were the class before us essentially, because you were 2013 or 2012 from Icon.
13, yeah.
Yeah, so you were like the one that was on his way, you know. And Sam was too, but I think Sam was I don't know if Sam was a little bit before you or not, but Josh.
I think he was, yeah.
But yeah, just like, do you feel like you know, you're as far as you know, your ability to get to that next level, like how much of that do you credit to like going to Icon? Like, do you feel like you still would be on the same path without Icon in a sense?
You know, I obviously wouldn't be the exact same path. I mean, I think the environment that it was in was just great because, like I said, I met Derek. He helped me learn to DJ. There's just other people all working and kind of with a common goal of making cool dance music and electronic music and being able to share samples. And, you know, nowadays, like I was just with someone like a video creator, content kind of like animator the other day. And, you know, he had his Cinema 4D open and had his mic set up like this. And just whenever he didn't know what to do, he just was sharing his screen with Google AI and going, I'm trying to add this thing in here and the drop shadow's not working, blah, blah, blah. Like, why isn't it working? And it was just speak back, oh, you need to adjust this envelope filter here, blah, blah, blah. And he was just like, boop. And I feel like there really just wasn't a place to get answers back in the day.
Yeah.
True.
And so going to Icon, I could YouTube a million things, how to make this sound, how to make this sound, how to do sound design, which is what I did for 5 years. But then being able to go and say, I need to do this in Ableton and know that you're getting 100% correct answer took me from like, I can get my ideas down, but they don't sound that great, to like, okay, now my music, I can play it next to like a Skrillex song or whatever in my set, and it's not like this huge drop off of production quality or anything like that. So, man, I don't even know what the original question was.
No, I think you answered it. You're just saying just like it helped you get to the answers a little bit quicker.
Yeah, exactly. I think finding those answers was huge. Being in the environment was huge. And, you know, I met Steven and all those people through there kind of as like, just when I was looking for work, just like trying to engineer and help out. I was like, ended up engineering and working on this house song for one of his artists and like making all this cool stuff. And I was like, I don't really want to like give you this stuff. Like, I kind of want this to be my song now, because I did everything and it wasn't like full ghost producing, but you know, it was kind of in that lane. And they were like, okay, that's cool. You can take your parts and we'll take our parts and we'll go separate ways. And then the next day they're like, actually, what else are you working on? And I went and played them all the music. And then they're like, we really believe in you. Like, let's start working on this. And, you know, that was still before I had done any Nightmare shows or anything. But
hey everyone, sorry to interrupt the podcast with Nightmare, but Parker and I have some huge news to share with you guys. We are so excited to finally be announcing that we are dropping the early access list for Quest for Bass Volume 2.
Let's go, baby.
That's right, Quest for Bass Volume 2, we are starting the early access live right now. You guys can go in the link in the description and sign up right now.
We're going all out on this one, you guys. So if you guys want to get the bonus content, make sure that you are on the list. There's only going to be a limited amount of have early access copies, and we want you guys to be a part of it. So make sure that you're on the list. Go grab it on September 20th at 12 p.m. PST.
This is officially the beginning of our quest for bass, so make sure you guys are checking our videos. We have a ton of remakes, we have a ton of production tutorials, and we have a ton of sound design tutorials for you guys.
And some special guests.
So click the notification bell so you don't miss any videos, and check out that link down below for early access. And we'll see you guys on September 20th at 12 p.m. PST. Let's jump back into the podcast.
One thing I wanted to, this is kind of an old throwback that I wanted to ask you about is, you know, when I went to Icon, I was an older kid there, and I said, and you would ask, what was different about Tyler than other kids? And one thing they told me was like, oh, Tyler went to like every single office hour that he possibly could.
Yeah.
And Tyler took full advantage of the school, so the school would have
lab
office
hours and
hours.
stuff.
Yeah.
He was and they're like, and he was always there. So I was like, oh, cool. So I would try to do that as best as I could. I had a full-time job at the time, but I would try to emulate that as best as I could. And then I remember, I don't know if it was Nick who was like the business guy there. He's like, oh yeah, like Tyler had worked with this guy, Richard Vision.
Yes.
Who was
my
like,
dog.
He's like a pop producer.
Yeah.
Shout out Richard Vision.
Shout out Richard Vision for sure.
He
I don't know
a
who
lot
that
of
is.
he did some Britney Spears shit. What else?
Yeah,
you know him better than I do.
I mean,
but-
when I was working for him, he does Power 106, like the main LA kind of like radio show or whatever, and he was the host, and you know, in early or 90s and early 2000s stuff. He was a huge LA DJ and had a bunch of songs, you know, house records and stuff that did really well. And yeah, he was kind of just making pop music and then doing the radio show. So we would go in. I basically just worked out for him to pay my rent, which was like $700, I think, at the time. In exchange for, I would go in like 3 days a week and just sit there, and he'd be like, let's take these chords from this song and try and flip it into a house thing or this. And so I would just have to kind of like figure out a lot of stuff on my own and engineer stuff, or, you know, work on making stems. And yeah, it was nice because it just, that was another place where I would work on something, kind of accidentally figure out something or do something cool and be like, oh, I'll take this home with me and kind of apply it to my music or whatever. But yeah, Richard was the man, and he was just super nice and put me in the room with a lot of cool people. And he got my first radio show. He put me on the show, and that was where I met Dylan Francis for the first time. And which was like a cool moment for me in probably 2015 or something. And, so it was cool. Yeah, he was a good dude.
Yeah, I just remember like hearing that, and then I had like somebody had put me in contact with him, so I was like trying to do the same thing, and I worked on a couple things with him.
Nice.
And he was super nice. I think eventually I just kind of went off and like did my own thing. Like I was like, I don't know, I got busy with other shit, but I remember just being like, oh, I want to do like what you did.
Yeah.
And then another person that I know that was big, or I want to ask you, but it seems like they were a big influence to you, was B-Sides too. He was your mentor
sure.
at Icon.
100%. Yeah.
Can you talk
I still
about
talk to B-Sides all the time. Yeah.
He's a cool dude.
I think, you know, he wasn't actually fully. I think maybe there was one time where he was my mentor, but
he wasn't.
He really just. I think he might have taught one of our classes, and then we just got close. And you know, at the time, there was 5 of us in that class of 20 who all lived in a house together nearby, and so he would always come by and just, you know, shoot the shit and play music and teach us stuff. And he, I feel like, was kind of my main sample pack resource also. He was just the pro at
That's so sick.
just downloading like whatever new things came out, or just keeping us up to date on what was like the most fresh samples and things like that. And he curated his own sample packs. You know, he had the B-side sample packs, which some huge things came from for sure. Like that big brass stab that's in Street, that's from the B-side sample pack. The sample that I ended up using for Red Light with Ferg was in that sample pack.
Oh, really?
Wow.
And I was like, I reached out to him, like, this is like the craziest orchestral thing like ever. Where is this from? And he was like, I do not know.
Yeah.
And so I had to Shazam it. I ended up finding his old 60s like brass orchestral thing, went and found the record from that guy and listened to the whole hour, and then ended up like chopping out 3 or 4 bits. And actually the Red Light and the Like That, which was the song I did with Big Gigantic like a couple years later, it's like the same 30-second sample, which is kind of funny.
Dude, yeah.
That's so sick. When you were making Red Light, did you already have a drop and you were trying to figure out like had to put it out and it had to drop,
Yeah.
and then you decided to do that as the VIP. Like, what was your thought process with that? Dude?
Yeah.
That was such a cool way of like doing a release.
Yeah, I think I just I'm pretty sure I originally started the idea actually for like a Need for Speed or like some type of video game that I was working on.
Cool.
And the whole thing kind of fell through, but I really loved the drop. It was super sick. And I had met TJ Mizell. I don't know if you know TJ, but he at the time was ASAP Ferg's DJ and helped him with production and stuff. And his own project now. I've done a song with them as well, Alexander Smash. But yeah, I had connected with him, and he basically would go out and play 10, 15 minutes of just DJ set before Ferg would go on, just to hype up the crowd.
Sick.
And so he was like, yo, I play your Dum Dee Dum remix, I play this. Like, he played the Goosebumps remix, all these Nightmare remixes before the show. So I was like, dude, let's get in the studio. I'd love to get Ferg on something. And I think just the like hip hop, sometimes a lot of people in hip hop, I feel like just think EDM is just like cheesy. Just no matter what.
Do.
Like
For
before
sure.
even, no matter what it is, before they listen to it, they're like, this is going to be cheesy. And so I was just really focused on making something that didn't sound cheesy for him when I sent it over.
Yeah.
So I didn't even send him the drop. Like I was just, here's the beat.
I can make a beat.
Big instrumental, big beat.
Right.
Back into the instrumental. And I sent him all that. And I was like, you know, let's make this record together, and then I'll flip it so that I can play it in my show.
Oh, that's dope.
And then that's basically what we did. And, you know, I knew all my fans would resonate with the VIP, but his fans probably would not, and they would resonate more with the original, which turned out to be pretty true. You know, there's almost the same amount of streams on both of them, I think. And it just helped, too, even as I moved forward and started pitching, you know, ideas to other rappers and stuff. Be like, cool, here's the record with Ferg, and it's just like a regular record. So it made people a little more comfortable, I think, like Gunna and Tory Lanez, people like that, just to be open to getting in the studio and like
That's an EDM
music.
guy.
That's a huge superpower, dude. We were talking to Boombox about this, Americo, and he gets great features too on his EDM songs.
He's a beast,
you know, but like, just like you were saying, like, I don't know what it is, but like rappers think it's like cheesy. I feel like they're coming around now.
Yeah, totally.
You know, like Travis Scott's like dancing on the side. He's like jumping off on his remix.
Yeah.
Side piece,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah, totally.
But dude, I love it.
Yeah.
I love it, man.
I love the crossover too. I think, yeah, there's just something about the hip hop game that's a little more ego driven and like I'm the coolest and the best. And so I think sometimes that's why I love dance music is it's just a lot fewer of that. Like almost anybody I work with, they're just a nice dude and they're just trying to make cool shit. You know? And that's part of the reason why Ferg was so awesome. And even with the second record we just did, like, it wasn't like, how much am I getting paid for this? It was just like, this is sick. Like, let's work on this.
Which is very rare.
Exactly. And was kind of where I ended up after that. I was like, if they're not just into the song and wanting to work on the song, then I don't want to like beg them to feature on this and like force, you know, because they're going to get in the studio and just do whatever and then, you know, call it a day. And, you know, Ferg was always sending me feedback, texting me about shit, like FaceTiming, like, let's change this. I want my voice to sound more like this in this part. And, well, you know, music video day, he's there on time, staying late.
Wow,
like, you know,
dude.
Going over to the camera guy, like, let's trash out like this. Or, you know, when I was like putting on my clothes of like hilariously like not accurate to my style, like these trench coats and like chains. I was just like, I don't even know if I can wear this. He's like, dog, you're gonna be a character for this.
Let's
like,
go.
don't think about it as you. Like, think about it as like you're performing. And I was like, you're the fucking man. Like,
that's so dope.
so it was just really, I can't say enough good things about Ferg. He's such a legend. And
Yeah.
yeah.
I always think about that too, because like when it comes from like the hip hop perspective, right? It's like they're thinking of every EDM guy as Skrillex.
Yeah.
And am I gonna get like a Purple Lamborghini song?
Yeah.
And you know, because Purple Lamborghini is a good the way
Good
he
balance.
did it is a good balance of
Yeah.
like the hip hop and EDM. It has the drop, but also feels hard for like people that are into hip hop.
Yeah.
But that's like so few and far between, like to be able to do that depends upon the song and all sorts of other things. So I totally get with what you're saying, where it's like you came in at it as like, look, I'm not going to do the EDM crazy drop thing. I'm going to let you be the artist, and then I'll do my thing on my end.
Yeah. But also, dude, Rick Ross is like, he has an open mind to that. Like, he's one of those artists that has an open mind, I feel like. He's like, maybe let's try it. Let's see how it goes.
Yeah.
You know, but like some people are super against it. You will never get them on, no matter how big the bag is, you know?
Well, I think it had to do with, because with Windows, right, which is what I think Purple Lamborghini came from Joyride. So I don't know if Joyride paid for the feature from Rick Ross, because I think it is a Rick Ross, and then that became Purple Lamborghini. Do you know if that's true?
Honestly, not sure. I know there was like, I couldn't tell you for Purple Lamborghini, but
I just know it was like, I don't know if it was a feature or if Johnny had
if
like
Windows was a feature.
Yeah, we'd have to look it up. Jamie, look it up. Joe Rogan? I'm just kidding. You're not Jamie. You're Ken. Anyway, whatever. That's just besides the point. But yeah, just to add to what you're saying, I think that it's really smart that you went about it that way. And it does feel like, because like whenever I've ever dealt with hip hop, like guys are always like, like they think we're like wizards.
Yeah.
Because they're like, how do you do this crazy? But they don't want, they want you to. It's almost like they want their producers to be able to do the technical side of what we do, but they don't want the technical side of what we do.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So that's cool that you were able to do that, and it's awesome. I know that you guys just did Torch, right? And is that on the new album, right?
Yeah.
Okay, awesome. Yeah, obviously you got a new album coming out. Let's talk about that too a little bit, bro.
Yeah, that'd be great. Yeah, man.
How excited are you right now? It sounds like you were doing a lot of work for it.
Yeah, Friday is all my master swaps go in 2 days. So
wow,
I've just been like, I'll find finishing touches on every possible thing, and just kind of, you know.
Do they let you swap masters after you submit everything?
Yeah, how does that work?
On Spotify?
Yeah, so basically you have to submit. I try to submit everything 6 weeks in advance, because just for proper rollout and getting, you know, YouTube, playlisting, all that kind of stuff. I try and get it in there. You can master swap it in theory, like up until a couple days before, but sometimes it doesn't. You know, you don't really know how quickly they're going to be able to get to it and swap it out.
Yeah.
So usually the absolute latest that I'll do a master swap is like a week or 2 weeks before.
Okay.
It's planning on coming out. But yeah, it essentially has to be the exact same length of song. It can't be any shorter, any longer, because I don't even know why. Just is the rule. But yeah, so generally I make sure all my arrangements are 100% right. Like 90% of the song is complete, and then I just kind of go in and do little mixed touches and just get everything super dialed.
That's awesome.
So you'll have final touch on your records. You'll mix, master.
Pretty much everything. I mean, honestly, this album was so much collaborating, because I actually started with a writing camp for it and got a bunch of my friends together and worked on writing a bunch of new stuff. So it's been super collaborative and going back and forth. But I usually like to have the last year on it. And, you know, for Dreamverse, I ended up getting like a mixed mastering engineer, and it definitely was great. But at the end of the day, as I found with every facet of being an artist and running a music business, like when you do it yourself, it's just done better.
Yeah. Do you think it was like a little bit more work because you had to like communicate what you were trying to do instead of like doing it in Ableton?
100%. It's, I mean, like I was saying, it now with visuals, making visuals for the new album, like doing social media posts, like working on music, doing a mix master, anything like that. It's just, I've learned to invest the time in doing it myself rather than delegating someone, asking them to do it. Then they come back, it's not exactly how you want it. Here's the changes. Let's make that and go back. And
it's like hard.
The amount of back and forth for a mixed master, I was like, man, I feel like I could have just done this myself at this point.
Yeah.
And there's always some benefit for sure. I think, you know, to someone who's maybe using like a crazy swagged out outboard gear and like summing it together, and, you know, maybe it adds certain things here and there. But I don't know. Yeah, I think because I get to tour also and test out songs, and, you know, I kind of just like fiddling with it until I get it where I like, and then just calling it a day.
That's so awesome, man. How many tracks is the album?
Yeah, it's gonna be 13, including there's like an outro. It's like minute and a half.
That's crazy. What are some crazy like collabs on there that we might not know about yet? I want the exclusive on here.
We want the exclusive, excellent show.
I mean, I could play them all. They're all pretty much done at this point.
Nice.
But I mean, the biggest main one was like the Ferg is the first single. I'm doing a VIP with Trigga. You know Trigga?
Yeah.
Yeah.
This stuff's been really sick recently.
On the same song for Torch?
It's gonna be 2 songs. Same kind of thing. The Torch and a Torch VIP or whatever.
Oh,
sick.
So yeah, I'm pretty stoked on that. The next one is with Viperactive and JT Roach,
Dope.
which is like kind of the focus single for what's about to come up, which has been really cool. I know you guys have had him on here.
Yeah, Jules is man.
Insane.
Yeah, JT
insane.
Roach has been to the studio too.
Yeah.
It's more of a melodic song?
Yeah, JT Roach is vocalist, so he does he did like Potions with Slander.
Yeah.
And he did I think he did
A lot of stuff with Said This Guy, right?
Yeah, exactly. He's super talented dude as well.
Crazy talented.
But yeah, that was one actually we started at the writing camp last year and came together really nicely. I got a collab with Blank on there that I'm really excited about.
Oh, that's
Love
awesome.
Blank.
That's
He's
like a
really
really super heavy one. I got one with Wink, who's like upcoming.
We love Wink.
He's the man.
Yeah.
It was
Is
so
he 16?
funny. Yeah, dude. I was about to say like
He's 16?
He's definitely underage.
I think he's
dude.
17 or 18 or something. But no, they came. Him and Nico came to the studio, and we were just like listening to top lines, trying to get a vibe or anything. And I like grabbed a joint and was like sparking up a joint. And I was like, "Oh, you guys want to like hit this joint?" And I was like, "Wait, I can't even like.
Yeah.
You're only 17 years old. Like, don't listen to me. You're not smoking weed. Like, I don't want to get in trouble." But yeah, it's crazy. It's insane. Like, I picked up a computer at 17 and was making stuff till 24 and then moved out here and 18, I guess. It was probably 22 before I really had something that I liked. And now I meet 16-year-olds who are like, "I've been making music for 12 years."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "What?
It's insane.
Did you have a laptop when you were 4? I'm like, "Yes." And
They have access to so much more shit.
I thought Julian was 15. Remember?
Oh, yeah.
I got all embarrassed.
Does look like a
I
little
was like,
kid.
"So you're the youngest guy on the show?
No,
You're
I'm
15."
not. Yeah,
He's
that's
like,
right. He
"What?"
thought he was like 20 or some
That's
shit.
actually
I was all embarrassed, dude.
And you worked with Sully too. Sully's a homie.
Sully's
He's
the
sick.
man.
Sully's dope.
We did the Up Top song with Flodan.
Yep.
That's on there.
That one's crazy,
Which was
dude.
so good. Yeah.
I like that one a lot.
Yeah, Sully's an absolute beast, and he's been helping me. He's definitely been a resource for me. Like, huge shout out to Sully for just mix stuff and Ableton stuff, and like he's so good.
He's a
at,
wizard.
Is he Icon fam too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, you
And
guys.
He's just the Michigan fam too. Him and Matt, like Peekaboo and
okay,
G-Rex,
yeah.
all those guys. They're all. I just love those guys. But yeah, he helped me even with just the mix on like "Buried a Friend" was another one of the singles from the album.
Yeah,
and,
I gotta talk about that too.
Yeah, so he's been really helpful for me, and I feel like I'm just always feel like I'm falling behind with the Ableton stuff. I'm like, as soon as I get good at Ableton 11, Ableton 12's out, and there's like 5 new audio things and audio effects and MIDI effects.
the auto filter.
Yeah, everything's
like,
just
dude.
always
Roar.
always changing.
Yeah.
Yeah, Roar is
Crazy shit.
great.
It's like,
Like,
what the fuck
I
is
love
this?
all the new stuff, but yeah, I feel like I'm always just trying to like keep up. But
Yeah.
they do a really good job at it, and yeah, we have another one on there with Sully, a second one called Liar.
Oh, that's dope.
Super sick. It's like a 130 BPM halftime kind of like trap wonky song. I have one with my buddy Stay Sick. I don't know if you know
Yeah,
Stay
Stay Sick.
Yeah, we know Stay Sick.
Yeah, he's from he lives up in Calgary now. That's actually who I was
He's
saying.
sick.
He's also an insane animator, and so that's who I was
really?
up in Calgary. I did a show, and he's helping me with animations for the new tour, the visuals and stuff. So I sat with him.
He was showing us like this is a long time, but he was showing us some like hyper pop he was making, and I was just like, dude, come on, bro, this is sick.
He's
like,
so
know,
good.
man.
He's like kind of unbelievably talented, and yeah, I
That's really
I think
cool.
he will pop for sure. Like he has stuff that I'm like I play on my show and it goes crazy every time.
Yeah.
And he always is just working so hard, and I think being in Canada puts you at a little disadvantage, not being able to get the shows and do the events and stuff like that. And I know he's been working on that really hard. So huge shout out to him.
It's really interesting. Like whenever we talk about like your kind of upcoming in your career, it seems like a lot of stuff happens in person for you.
Yeah.
Like you've never mentioned like this happened online. It's like more of like a human connection.
Yeah.
I really think that's interesting.
Yeah, I like to for sure be in the studio, and I mean, kind of like I was just saying, like I did the Dreamverse stuff. There's just so many moving parts and team members and people making visuals. It's like, here's my ideas for the visuals, and then you end up getting stuff back or have a creative person help work with them and try and get it to where it's going to be presentable. And they bring it back, and I'm like, I like 3 of these, but not really these 2. But we've already invested so much time and money into this. Like, what can we do to adjust this to make it better? And now I'm just like, from the very start, I want to be like involved with the direction, with every little thing. And so, I was just stayed 2 extra days there just so I could be in the room with him while he's animating, being like, let's change this to be, whatever. And, we were just animating like a synthesizer, like a basic Moog, like on screen with MIDI notes going up, to the song and things like that. And I don't know, there's just so much room for miscommunication when you're playing telephone and other people are doing that
it's
kind
hard,
of stuff.
man.
And
it's very hard.
As an artist, you always have like a pretty specific vision of like what you're imagining. And so just trying to make sure it gets nailed is like, I don't know, always takes some time.
Yeah, you could tell a lot of effort has been putting into this album rollout as far as the branding. I mean, you have these cool little quick little promo videos and stuff like that. That's awesome.
I've been trying. I think I learned, through the Dreamverse process, which was my first album, I think I just learned a lot. I spent so much time on the songs and like making sure they flow all together, melodically, and this meaning behind the songs and the story and the visuals, and like doing a lot of videos and all this kind of stuff. And I felt like I put so much time and effort, but then the time and effort that I needed to communicate all the work that I had done with people was like, became this incredibly difficult thing. I was like, what video am I going to make that explains all of this and tells people what it is, gives them the background and gives them the lore, so that when they're at the show, they see it all happening on the screen and they understand. And went through the end of it and felt like I accomplished what I wanted, but I didn't really feel like I got like the complete message across and the full story and everything. And I think that's just sort of the nature of dance music sometimes too. Like a lot of us as artists want to go so deep and like put so much meaning into everything, but then a lot of people are like, I'm just going to party and hang out with my friends at the show. Like, they're not necessarily trying to like be so dialed in.
Yeah.
And I also noticed that the things that always work really well and that people engage with are very personal things when it's me on screen or me talking about my life experiences or whatever. So I think with Mindful, the new album, I just wanted to make it more about me kind of, and a little more centered about my experience as an artist and as like just a human being and just like, existing. And I think the thing that is the most relatable that I've seen from every artist and for myself and even non-artists is just this like overwhelming takeover of technology and your phone and shortness of attention span. And there's a million things coming at you at once all the time, whether it's family stuff or life stuff or music stuff or like whatever. There's just a billion things fighting your attention all the time. I think everybody goes through that, and everybody also has this kind of longing desire to not be on their phone, even though we're kind of like required to be on our phone to exist in like society at this point. And so that's kind of where the mindful, 2 words, like my mind is full, and like the mindful 1L. It's like there's like the online, which is like the mindful. I'm like all this million things going on all at once, and then the mindfulness, which is like putting your phone away, going outside, enjoying nature,
being present,
exactly. And so and I kind of have this on stage persona that's very online, and like I'm in the zone and yelling and jumping on the mic, and then in person I'm very quiet and a little bit more reserved, and I like to be by myself. And I sit in the car for 3 hours driving in silence most of the time. Like,
really?
People think I'm a psycho because I work out with no music and all this other stuff, but it's because I'm working on music all the time, existing in music, doing shows, listening to stuff to download for my sets. And, when I do have the time away, I'm like, I just kind of want to enjoy the silence and the presence. And
you guys are so similar in that, dude.
Yeah.
I cannot do it. I listen to music all the time. Podcasts. I'm listening to everything all the time.
Yeah. I mean, it makes sense, but I don't know. I think, just with my personality, and it's not very extroverted, and I have to do a lot of extroverted type things at events and just in general, and so, it's kind of this nostalgic thing. And I think even, we're like the last people who grew up without a phone, which is kind of crazy. And I think a lot of people listening to music and consuming Nightmare stuff nowadays also have this sort of nostalgic feeling of wanting to be in a time where everything they're doing wasn't being recorded and videotaped, and everyone's keeping track of every possible thing. And so just been playing into the nostalgia and the 1990s kind of stuff that I grew up with, and have a lot of visuals of like me when I look like a 007 like GoldenEye level graphics character in the show.
That's so cool.
And so a lot of it's kind of like text based and live video based for the visuals, and just a lot of like brain mazes and puzzle type optical illusion-y type things. And just very, very me centered album.
Are you ever gonna do like shows where you like phones are not allowed, and it's just like
I think that'd be
zero
great.
phones?
Like I've seen
People
it work
do that?
well.
Yeah, Germany, dude. They don't allow you phones in the club. They put them in little pouches and stuff. Like
I've been to some comedy shows and stuff where they do that too, because
so they don't want to get filmed their material.
Their jokes or material. Yeah. I mean, I think it would be great just because you have no choice but to be in the moment and enjoy it. I don't love being like, you can't be on your phone, but I think I would love to go to a show like that and just enjoy it, because I think I for sure am guilty of, no matter what I'm doing, being like, oh shit, I need to get a video of this. This is so cool. And then I'm worried about getting the video rather than just enjoying the moment. Yeah. And I think everybody kind of goes through that for sure.
I never understood that. I've like, I don't know if this is because like my family this way, but like I've never been a big like picture taker.
Yeah.
Or a video. Like I've taken videos of stuff, but it's like, for you guys if you take a lot of videos, like, do you just like, are you going to go back and look at that video?
No,
it's
for
like
sure.
You're taking it to take the video. It's like weird.
Maybe like fireworks videos. You're never going to watch it again.
Yeah.
How many videos do you go through and look at? And even when I go to a place where I went to Italy and I was like taking all these videos, and like maybe I'll go through like with my lady and be like, hey, remember this?
Yeah,
like,
exactly.
But that's it. Like,
I know.
I mean, it's I'm documenting, dude. I
like
save everything.
Cool.
I have them on my hard drives, and I don't open them. But like sometimes I like go through them and like see like, oh, I remember this. This is so cool.
It is nice for that. I mean, it depends on how I am, but certain times for sure I'll spend a whole weekend and then I'm like, well, I took no photos that whole weekend, and I'm like, I have nothing to show for this.
Talking about videos though, I have the sickest video of you and Slander going back to back at EDC.
Oh,
it is
this year?
insane. Yeah, this year.
Yeah.
And we were side stage, and so you guys played with all the fireworks. Yeah. There was flames. I honestly thought your hair was gonna burn off, dude, because there was a crazy flamethrower like in the front, and like the wind from my angle looked like you were going to get burned.
Yeah.
Did you feel that?
I definitely felt I think at one point they had to stop the flames because
it was pretty windy.
Wind was too
very
high.
windy.
And there was a couple right before they stopped it where it was like definitely.
We'll show
close.
the
I've
video.
had a
We'll
few
have
of
a
those
clip.
for
Like,
sure.
It's insane,
Yeah.
dude.
I mean, I remember that video too. I just sat there and I was just like, because it was the EDC like ending weekend fireworks were going off, and it ended up being right during One Chance, like the Knock 2 collab. Yeah. And it was just such a good moment. I was just like, I tried to. That was one where I was like, I'm not even gonna pay attention to what I have to play next. I'm just gonna like sit here and enjoy this.
That's so cool, man.
It was a great moment. Yeah, I've always wanted to do Circuit Grounds too.
So Circuit Grounds is sick.
Circuit Grounds is crazy.
Yeah.
I was gonna say, like, how do you guys like organize your back-to-backs, you and Slander? Because it's like it's always insane.
Yeah,
like, every time you
honestly,
guys do it, it's like
we do.
It's epic.
I mean, this year was the first time that we planned it out a bit more because we had Starbase Slander Festival.
Yeah.
Like a month before or something like that, and so we knew. We had, I think, Project Glow in DC too. So we had 3 back-to-backs within like a month.
Oh.
And we're like, okay, let's just really try and get this dialed and make a whole new show and all that kind of stuff. So we went in. I picked all my songs that I wanted in there for sure. And then another section of maybes. Derek had all his songs. And I think for that, I sent him stuff. He sent a big playlist. Here's what I think the chunks should be of like, you play these 3, I'll play these 3, you play these 3.
Oh,
we just organize them by key roughly.
Yeah.
And then I kind of went in and was like, I actually like to mix this one with this one and mixed it around a little bit. And we did set it up to be one playlist this time. So we had one thing to work off. And then we had, another playlist of just extra songs if we want. And obviously we have all of our other playlists from other sets and stuff. But it was more dialed this year. Most of the time, it's just we figure out the first couple songs. Like we'll know what the intro is, and then I'll know what the first 1 or 2 songs I'm gonna play. He's gonna know the first 1 or 2 he's gonna play, and then we just kind of like go with the flow.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, I think I've just done so many back-to-backs at this point that I feel like I could DJ with anyone. Like I've done
That's awesome.
The Nets guy and the Dimension ones where they're like, I have 0 songs that are 150 or 128. They're only playing D&B, so I'm usually slowing it down, playing some 150, going down maybe to 128, and then like, I don't know, somehow bringing it back up to 174 every time before I switch it back over to them.
Wow.
And I've done like, just super heavy dubstep people and, more trap stuff, and did a whole back-to-back tour where every show was a back-to-back with someone different.
Jesus.
So it's like, I feel like I learned a lot through that process, but it made me really good. And Vegas also made me really good at DJing and just being able to play freestyle. And like Vegas, I would go in with my playlist for Vegas is like 600 songs or something, but it's just completely organized by key and BPM. So I have, all my heavy bass music stuff all organized by key. That's 150 or 140. And I have my big house music section. That's all organized by key. And then I have my drum and bass section. It's all organized by key and like whatever. So then I, just play in the bass music section in the beginning because I always start heavy. Maybe depending on if the crowd's liking it or, they want more house stuff, I'll switch into maybe some house or halftime 130 stuff and just kind of go with the flow there. But
what are your tricks to transition tempos if you're going down or up? Like, do you have like some go-tos that you do?
It's mostly just specific ones that I know are transitions. Like, I have my song Shady Intentions with Zed's Dead, and it's like I play it every set. It's one of my bigger songs. It's an F minor, and it's like 155 or whatever. And then I have a Reaper remix that's 174. So anytime I play that, I play it at the end of my section. I play it, then I go into the Reaper remix. I just have them synced and just speed up one. They both speed up at the same time. And then I switch into the drum and bass one. And then I'm in 174. I play for a bit. And then, I have my fair share of just edits where it just goes... And then just the huge explosion into another song or whatever. And so occasionally I'll use those. I have a couple random edits of like, there's like a G Jones song I play every show. And it's just this massive buildup for like a 128 thing. And it just sounds like I'm like flexing super hard on the mixer or something, I think. But because it's just, I'm just hanging out. But it's just this huge long buildup, and it kind of, you know, it has that exact thing. It sort of goes, speeds up and then it comes back down. So I'll use that to go from any of those tempos.
Oh, nice.
You know what I mean?
Okay.
I'll launch that at 174 and slow it down to 134 during that time because it's not like a synced LFOs. You can't really even tell that I'm speeding up or slowing it down.
Yeah.
And just certain things
So
like that.
you just got little back,
Yeah, little things.
little aces up your sleeve you can just grab to do. Because that shit's hard, man. Like,
it is.
You really got to have a couple like tricks. Because you're talking about like you DJ a lot and you definitely go nuts on stage. Like you're definitely one of the somebody
Move
who
around.
really performs live.
Yeah.
So to say that you like when you do so many back-to-backs that you guys just kind of free flow.
Yeah.
It's like you have like I couldn't do that. I'd have to have more experience DJing to just really know the music and shit. It takes a lot of
I was gonna say
practice
it's
to get
knowing
that
the
good.
music because now like I did back with Cranked At for Tomorrowland, which was like the funnest set honestly I've had in an insanely long time, and we did zero prep. Like we literally
Nice.
we're doing the interview before and we're like we've done a little bit of back-to-back impromptu, not an official one, and it went so well and it was so easy that we were like, this is gonna be fine. Like I know that we're gonna like crush it. And it's like, he'll pull up a song and it's in D flat minor and 145 and I'm just instantly like, oh, I know these 4 songs. Like my Liquid Stranger
nice.
collab works with that, or this edit. And so I feel like now that I've just played so many sets, I just have a little bit of like a database in my head of like what would mix with it.
That's also like his personality too. Both of your guys' personalities are just like, let's just rip it right now. Whatever. It's gonna be sick,
Yeah, it was great. And I've done things with both sides. I've had super planned B2Bs where we know everything we're getting into, which is really great for your visual team and your VJ and lighting guy.
Yeah.
They
They'll
thank
love
you for that. Every single day I'm getting bugged on like, make sure I get that final version of this so you're not playing a different version and then your visual doesn't work and things like that. So that's the benefit to putting in the hours of planning the set and knowing, okay, I want to transition this song here and play this section of this song here. But sometimes it takes away the fun of just going with the flow and doing whatever when you're on stage.
Yeah.
And you got a live tour coming up too, right? For the album? Aren't you going on the road soon or no?
Yep, exactly. So
what can people expect for that? And what are the dates?
The first shows start in October. Most of them are it's October, November, December. It's an album tour, so it's the Mindful show, which kind of was the first time I really am putting a lot of time and effort into thinking about every single song, every edit, and trying to make visuals. And I want to get to the point where I have at least 70% of it is basically just Nightmare songs and my stuff that I made the edit. We know the visual, like we got everything super dialed. And maybe 30% I'll probably wing it a little bit still and just have appropriate visuals for him to just freestyle it. But it's sort of this, it's almost like a funny guided meditation from like the intros, like let's say our affirmations together, like I'm gonna fucking rage tonight, and that kind of stuff. And then there's just a few breaks in certain moments of like just take a moment to be present and like enjoy this time with your friends and like kind of grounding everybody in the show, and just including a little bit of the mindful with the mindfulness, and trying to still have a concept for the show that makes sense, and you can see the intro and the outro and a couple breaks in between and get it, without doing the full dream verse of like there's this character here and they're going to be in this video later, and like there's all that different kind of conceptual stuff. I think I did a much better job of creating a cool, really interesting visual show that has great music, but also isn't like, you don't have to go so deep. It's pretty like surface level, and you could not know anything about Nightmare or any of my songs and go and still be like, okay, that was a great show.
That's very cool.
So I'm excited.
I don't know if you know this, dude, but so your Dreamverse release show or party at Playhouse.
Yeah.
So Playhouse closed.
Yes.
And your Dreamverse marquee is still on the
No
billboard
way.
Yeah, it's still
today.
There,
It plays every day on loop. It says Dreamverse release party
That's
on
hilarious.
Hollywood Boulevard. Yeah.
I think it had closed like a month before. They're like, we're trying to do private parties now or private events or something. That's so funny.
They never took it down.
I gotta
it's
go
still
check.
like if
That's
you
like
drive
3 years
past,
ago.
Yeah. It's
That's
insane,
great.
dude. I thought that was so funny.
Great
I'm gonna
promo,
go take
bro.
a picture
Free
of
shit.
that. Yeah.
We can walk over there when you're done.
Yeah.
That's so hilarious. I was literally just thinking when I parked, just like, this seems really close to where I had that Dreamverse party.
Yeah.
That's hilarious.
Are you going hard and you're going to do another release party for the new album?
Yes.
Are you going just straight on the road?
I don't know exactly when we're announcing it, but doing like a little pop-up in New York. Just to,
Sick.
Yeah, I don't know if I'm going to do the full party here, but yeah, we're doing like a, just classic brownies and lemonade, like
Hell yeah.
announce it the day before. Hopefully everyone will show up, and then it's like just a small, I think it's like 300, 400 person room, same kind of thing.
Yeah. I love that.
I don't know if we'll have quite as many like activations and stuff, but yeah, just a little some type of party. New York was kind of in a weird place for shows right now with Mirage going down and the Great Hall and all that stuff.
Yeah.
So I kind of am trying to plan doing like a Palladium and like a New York show and some of the other bigger markets that I'm not hitting for the fall. Like early next year, but just trying to give it a little more time, make sure we really nail it.
Is that Sony venue still open in New York? Like it's like the PlayStation
Theater?
Yeah.
I think so. New York's so weird. I mean, I feel like I've done 10 different venues one time. Like I've never gone back to, I've done Webster back in the day in the basement, then I did Webster the main room, then I did PlayStation Theater, then I did Hammerstein, then I did Brooklyn Steel, then I did festivals once or twice, and like I don't know why, but I feel like there's just always some sort of promoter or something. I did Marquee for a while too because that was part of my Tao group, Vegas Residency, and yeah, I don't know. It's always different there.
Bro, what's it like having a Vegas residency?
I
Like,
mean,
just from like be real. Like,
yeah.
Is it like
I
so
love it.
hard? Like,
I honestly like it took me a little bit to grow into liking it. I think, some people go in, I think, thinking that they can just play 100% of their OG like crazy bass music set or something like that, and it just it's very soft ticket. It's like 80% of the people who are there on vacation and are like, I'm staying at MGM. I'm going to go to the club. Like, who's playing? Oh, Nightmare, sick. And so, one table is like a bachelorette party. The next table is like a concrete company of dads who like are on, you know what I mean?
They're at a convention.
Literally, they're at their convention and they like came down because their business bought them a table. And then there's like a kid in the front who's like, play rhythm. And then there's like, like it's just every possible thing you can imagine. So I think in the beginning, like occasionally you'd see someone who's like, don't play, like, I want to play rhythm or whatever, and I'm like, fuck, I want to like just play rhythm for this guy. But like if I play rhythm for 2 hours, Vegas is not going to have me back to play. Yeah. So I'll play like a weekend song and drop it into like a rhythm banger, and then try and like keep both people happy. And
so it's more open format that you have to play when you're doing like a residency? Is it like
it's definitely like, I don't like have to. No, they're not like you need to play sing-along songs every single song. Yeah. But I just kind of figured out what really works there and like what level of heaviness and dubstep type stuff I can do. And, I always have fans there. So like, especially at the end, like the last 30 minutes is when I would start rinsing all the Nightmare songs and things like that. Because, usually, I don't know, it's just the more diehard fans are always there till the end. And, people are just getting more turned up by the end of the show. They're like, it gets rowdier and rowdier as the time goes on. But, I mean, I loved it. Like certain people are like, I don't want to do it unless I'm doing all my music, and it's like to each their own. But I kind of love just DJing and just like being a party DJ sort of, and that process of getting better and reading the crowd and seeing what people are into, and just playing any guilty pleasure song that I ever wanted to play. That's like a good Dua Lipa pop song or something that I like don't play my Nightmare set. Like I'll go find some really banging remix of it and get to play it at my shows, and everyone eats it up. And Yeah, it was a great time, and I think the nice thing is there's basically zero overhead. Like I pull up by myself. I don't even need a tour manager. Like it's the same lighting guy, same video guy, same every crew, you know, who I go do sound check with every single time. You know, same venue, same speakers, same CDJs. Like it's just really dialed. And so we got to the point where the show was really good too. The laser guy knew all the good moments and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, the hospitality is really good. You know, get a couple extra rooms, bring some friends, and
that's so cool,
get a free dinner.
Yeah,
and
that's sick.
Like I definitely really loved it. And I think, you know, there's sort of a sacrifice of, if you're going to play this market 10 times in the year, you're not really going to play it any other times. So I've never done a hard ticket show in Vegas because I had a residency for so long. It's part of the contract too. It's just there's a radius for 30 days and I'm playing every 20 days. So it's like you're just never really get to do anything else. And I would get one festival a year, so it's pretty much EDC every time.
That was part of the clause, was like, I can play EDC,
but you get like
else you're always here.
Well, one show. So it could be EDC, it could be Life is Beautiful, it could be Film Wonderland, whatever you wanted. But even then, yeah, it was still like negotiated to be like whatever. But yeah, usually it was one event per year. And so yeah, this is actually the first year with the MINDFULL Tour that we're doing a Vegas hard ticket show,
cool.
not doing the Vegas residency and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, I loved it, but same thing. You know, I had 4 shows in New York at Marquee each year, and I had 3 shows in Chicago at Tao each year, and it's good, but it also saturates you a little more, and you know, you can't. It's just like do you want to go do those 3 shows, or do you want to wait and try and do one big show that's a nightmare show or whatever?
So it's also has to do with the nightclubs in different cities as well when it comes to these Vegas residencies, or as far as like contractors related, or
it was based on essentially the promoter, which was Tao Group for me. So Tao Group has a Tao Chicago, they have Marquee New York, they have Tao Vegas, they have Hakkasan, they have Omnia. They had Omnia in San Diego for a while. They have Marquee in Singapore. I had like one Singapore show a year, and so that was all part of one big contract. And I would end up doing 3 or 4 shows in New York and 3 or 4 shows in Chicago and whatever. But yeah, I just felt like I was just kind of wanted to focus on starving the market a little bit and just doing my big show for this year for the MINDFULL stuff.
If you're a producer and you're not using project file remakes to help you get better, what are you doing? Remakes and project files are a great way for producers to hone their skills in song structure, sound design, and mixing and mastering. I know it's helped us out a ton and continues to sharpen our skills every single day. So if you're looking for the most accurate remake project files and a ton of exclusive presets and sounds, then you gotta check out our Patreon. We upload a ton of new content every single month for producers. From custom unreleased sounds and producer interviews to project files, serum presets, and racks. And don't forget, every single month you can post your track for feedback. When you join our Patreon, you get access to our entire catalog of sounds since 2018. That's 6 years worth of content, and you get to jump right into it. Go check out the link in the description and find the tier that best suits you. Everything we get from our Patreon, we reinvest back into to get better guests and a lot more tutorials and content for you guys. Thanks for your support, and let's jump back into the video.
I also have like another like sort of thought and story with the whole residency, because I think this is really interesting. I don't think a lot of people get a chance to actually like ask these kind of questions to somebody that does it. So about 4 or 5 years ago, I had a buddy who had a bachelor party in Vegas. Yeah, it was our buddy.
Oh, I know where this is going.
But this is related to a question for him. But so you were playing, I don't know if you were playing Aria. What was it? Might have been Hakkasan or some shit.
Hakkasan.
It was Hakkasan
at the time. And so I hit up Steven, and I was like trying to look cool for my buddy. I was like, yo, like, hey, can you hook us up with some Nightmare tickets to go see Tyler? And he's like, yeah, like let me hit up Tyler. So like there was a big group of us, and like I remember there was only like 4 or 5 that we could get. Yeah. And I had to like tell some of them, I was like, yo, like you can't go, like you don't like EDM, like you can go. Like I was doing this whole thing, right?
I was chosen. I was one of them.
Damn.
Nice.
So mainly I just wanted to get my friend in, right?
Yeah.
So I show up there, and I didn't realize this till I got there, but we were checking in. I said, "What's up to you?" And this is the part of the story I think is funny is that I guess I didn't realize I had an expired ID. So all my friends got to go in, and I couldn't go in. I was like at the thing, and I was like, "Oh, whatever." So like,
that's
I was like, "Whatever, go have fun." But the other thing I noticed was like there was another group of people that were with you, and I was like, "Oh, they must be like with him." But then I like kind of realized I'm like, oh no, like I don't think they are. So like when you're doing these Vegas shows, like is a lot of it like, hey, like take care of these extra VIP people, like because they were like hanging out with you, but they were like they didn't know you.
Yeah.
Like does that happen a lot? Like
it's definitely mostly just like that exact situation where someone asked my manager and they're like, oh, my friend's friend is like trying to come to Vegas and they have this group, like, can they come hang out? And I'm just like, yeah, it's like, come on, hang out. So there's not too many situations where like I have to do
like
any sort of like
the guests.
Yeah, exactly. Like there's always, if they're bringing someone into the DJ booth who's like a VIP or spending a bunch of money, like they usually have someone from the club who's like hosting them and walking them around and showing them where to go and all this kind of stuff. But yeah, that being said, there's definitely times where I've had like 30 people walking in with me and I know like 3 of them. Yeah. And I have to just tell my artist liaison, like, look, if anyone is causing you a problem at all, just kick them out because I don't know them. Like, yeah, these could be completely random people. And yeah, same time, like, you know, occasionally there's some guy who buys like $50,000 in alcohol or something and it's like, I want to go take a shot with him, and you know they'll come up and be like, hey, can you take a shot with this guy? And I could be like, no, for sure, but I'm always just like, yeah, sure, no problem.
There was definitely like 30 dudes like in suits, like older, you know, and like older women too. They were all very dressed nicely, and then there was like us with just like you know,
it's always a
I was
funny
like,
mixture.
Tyler barely knows me. I'm like, there's no way he knows these people.
It was hilarious.
Like, they were like with you, and they were like, yeah, let's go. And I just remember, and I'm like, oh, I like kind of felt bad. I was like, it's cool that like Steven hooked us up or whatever, and you were super nice and cordial about it. But I was like, dude, that kind of sucks. Like you just roll in, and it's just like you have to rock around with like this mob of people that you don't know.
Yeah, that definitely does happen sometimes, and it can be, sometimes it's really fun, you know, if people are partying and like keeps the energy up, and having a bunch of people raging behind you, it kind of like keeps everybody's watching also, is like
keeps you pumped
keeps
up.
the energy going. But for sure, I've had a lot where I'm like, I don't even know. And it's so funny because I always walk into the show, you know, with all the people or whatever, everyone piles in, everyone's having a good time, like feeling great, take a shot before the set, and then like I kind of get in the zone and just play for 2 hours. You know, it's a 2-hour show every time. And I'll turn around a few times just to see what's going on, but I don't really like see what's going on. And sometimes like I'll turn around with like 15 minutes left thinking that it's going to be like, and there's like 2 blacked out people left, just like, just like laying on the couch. And I'm like, what happened? Like, where did everyone go? And like the next day everyone will start telling me like someone threw up on the thing, and then some person tried to jump over from another table and like someone punched him, and like they had to get carried out, and I'm like, holy shit, how did that all happen? I just didn't see a single thing.
Dude, I feel like I'd be such a dick. I'd be like, get the fuck out of here. Like, you know, because you're trying to focus on your shit. But that's dope. You're super chill.
They have the line of tape that's like, don't cross this line, and everyone always does. But, you know, there's, at least try and keep people back
I had to
a
ask
bit.
you about that.
Yeah, that's awesome.
So
I'm really excited to get into production.
Yeah.
I do have one more kind of like important question that I wanted to ask you. Something that I noticed with your releases is like you have found a way to juice every release that you put out. So there's either a VIP to the song that you put out, or there's like 7 remixes of it to really extend the shelf life of a song. And I don't really see a lot of artists do that until recently. And you were more of like one of the first artists that I noticed that really takes to heart like an actual release.
Totally.
It's not just like one shout out on Instagram or whatever. It's a long rollout.
Yeah.
And I really appreciate that. Like, I think that's super cool, and a lot of artists should take more advantage of that.
Yeah.
Is that like something that was in your thought process during this release, or did you experiment with it once and it really worked out and you just continue to do it? Like,
yeah, I think, I mean, I appreciate that. I think, I kind of take it release by release a little bit. But yeah, it's so easy to just post it up and like just hope that it does well.
Yeah.
I feel like, and I don't even think I'm that good at it, so I appreciate you saying that, because I'm always like, man, I need to keep posting about this song, or like I need to put more content out about it because I love this song and it does so well on my shows, but maybe it's not reaching the right people. But yeah, remix is a super great way to do it, and I always love kind of sending out the whole album or the whole EP to someone and just being like, do whatever you feel inspired by, whichever one you think you're going to make the coolest thing, and just see what we end up getting. But yeah, I mean, you know, it's like I play the songs for 2 years in my set usually, or a year and a half or something, whenever it comes out. And so I think it's silly to not be trying to continually post about it, continually share about it. And I think for me, it's just trying to get, like, for so long, I've always been like quality over quantity when it comes to putting out actual content about it. And the process of making content, I just hate so much with like the deepest passion possible that, like, yeah, I don't know. I just fall into this like trying to make something really good, when sometimes I'm like, it just needs to be a video of me being like, hey guys, here's my new song, like, you know, something, and talking about it and just keeping it fresh in people's minds and stuff like that. And yeah, I mean, I think, that's my plan for this album now. You know, I've put out one single every 5 weeks, you know, since February or March or whatever, trying to spread them all out, make sure we have enough space. So when we send it to whoever we know at Spotify or whatever, trying to submit it for playlists, they're not like, oh, well, we just put a NGHTMRE song out 2 weeks ago. So, you know, like sometimes just having that space is helpful. And yeah, like once everything comes out on the 29th, I'm kind of planning on doing like a week's worth of promo for each song, for like, you know, and it'll take another 10 weeks of, you know, 2.5 months of just, okay, this week I'm going to talk about Everybody Knows, the Gorilla Tea collab, and just post about that and post some clips. And then next week I'm going to work out a rollout on this one. And, and yeah, I mean, I think like I said, we put a lot of time and effort into the songs, and it's kind of insane how much music comes out these days too. Like, and also, you know, there's a lot of people, even after my sets, especially recently, like other artists or whoever, and you know, I'll be talking to them after the show, and they're like, man, I almost like forgot about all those songs that you had, you know, like, oh, I forgot you did that Zed's Dead one, or I forgot you did that Rez collab, or I thought you did that Chainsmokers collab, or whatever. And yeah, I think just trying to keep it fresh in people's minds as much as you can is always good.
Yeah, it's huge, man. Like, people now are doing sped up versions and slowed down versions of the same song, dude. And they like extend it out, and then it's on the same EP.
100%.
It's like so cool.
Yeah, it is crazy. I mean, that was another one where that was one where I think I did the Dreamburst thing, in our label or publisher or whatever was like, we should do a slowed version. And I was like, what is a slowed version? And I was just not in my TikTok area yet, I guess, or Reels or whatever. And they were just like, just a slowed down version of one of your songs. Like, we think it'll help, like, with socials and
Turns
stuff.
down to like mid-tempo.
I was like, I don't even know. Do whatever you want. You can flip it. But then it kind of sounded cool. I think we did it for the Oliver Tree collab. Yeah. And it was like, and I was like, this is actually kind of hard.
Yeah.
I actually have a pretty cool
Slowed and Throwed.
A cool tool for that actually too. I'll show you.
Yeah.
Ooh, I would love
to
see
do the
that.
production section.
Yeah.
Nice, man.
Good, because we got some questions, bro.
I probably don't have the answers, but
I
will try.
It's not just about the projects, but like I guess we could kind of like hint, but like I kind of want to like give people something to look forward to. Because
We
got to talk about the NGHTMRE snare just in general, like just how the evolution of the hybrid trap snare came from you.
Cool.
And of course, some of your sound design, drum stuff, dude. We have so many fun questions.
Yeah, I would love to talk about it. Like I said,
also mastering.
Mastering.
Yes. Yeah, I mean there's not a lot that goes into it, but I will show
we
you
have a lore,
whatever you want.
We have lore of the master chain.
I love it.
Yeah.
We
The
have to talk
master
about
chain, yeah. We'll talk about that for sure.
Awesome, man.
Well, stay tuned, guys. Thanks again, Tyler, Nightmare,
Man,
so much for
you
coming,
guys are
bro.
the best. This is awesome.
Dude, we've
I'm
had
excited.
such a great time. We're going to have a production segment coming out soon. Like the video, comment, subscribe, and make sure you guys go check out Tyler's new album at end of August, which is
August 29th.
August
Coming out.
29th, baby.
Mindful.
Yes.
And then on tour in October.
Yep.
So definitely check
Tickets
out.
are already on sale, so
There you go.
go grab them.
Yeah.
Amazing.
Thank you guys so much, and we'll see you guys in the next one.
We'll see you.
Yeah.
Peace.